guest speakers today. First of which is one that should have been out in London speaking to incredible global leaders, but she is here today speaking to all of us. Ms. Nomso Kana is a leading voice in nuclear science and digital infrastructure and in shaping the nation's digital future. She was appointed to the Commission in 2019, where she provides expert guidance on navigating the complexities and the opportunities of the fourth industrial revolution, the 4IR. You've heard it being said a couple of times. It is such a critical juncture in this conversation. Her expertise extends beyond nuclear science and energy policy into a dynamic arena of broadband infrastructure, where she leads work that's dedicated to connecting underserved communities through fast, reliable, and fixed wireless access. Her work advances digital inclusion, digital financial inclusion, and economic empowerment, reflecting her strong commitment to social impact. Ms. Kana is also very passionate about gender equality and youth development, which I guess is why she's here today, and contributes her expertise across the various boards in the ICT and energy sector. She is the chairperson of Africa for Nuclear, a deputy chairperson of the ENG Foundation, and a trustee of the University of Fort Hare. She holds a Master's in Science and Engineering from the University of Pretoria and a BSc Honours from the University of Fort Hare. She is a nuclear scientist. You are in the audience of a world game changer. So I can't express how grateful we are to have you join us today. Welcome to the Future Global Leaders Club.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Olutu. And also thank you to our ambassador, the brains behind Lihle. You are truly phenomenal. And I'm also as excited to share this stage with Usisonke. I mean, this is absolutely such a great day. I know it's all gray and cold. We're starting winter, but look, our season is still warming up. We're still getting ahead as global future leaders. And I love the fact that you guys are networking. And if you start now, it means by the time you're my age, you would have built something so big. So I'm really excited and also feel privileged to be here. And not just that privilege goes to the point where at your age and also to what really competes for your attention, you could have been doing something else. You could have been editing your videos for TikTok. You could have been watching series, but you are choosing to be here. This is an investment for your future. And I know there are a couple of grades that are here. So what I'll do at the most is try to really speak at what the future looks like from your end, from your angle, and also to those that are about to step into pre-adulting. University, you think that it's still easy, but it's a pre-adulting. But I'm so excited once again. And if you may give me now just your attention, I'm going to speak about my journey, and I'm going to speak about the things that I'm doing, how I got there, and where I grew up. I'm going to then close it out and speak about some of the opportunities that I want you guys to be on the lookout for. And by the time I'm done with my talk, two things you would have gotten out is the importance of science, the importance of creativity, and lastly, what we need to do for our continent. Okay, so my name is Nomso Kana, and if I'm in public, I really need to take up my title. I am an appointed commissioner in the presidency. And that appointment was gazetted in 2020. At that time, COVID was still rapid, but we just got into the commission, and we were then appointed to bring about the 4IR strategy for the country. And that includes placing these advanced technologies into areas of development, and also ensuring that they play a role in, being, the catalyst in our economy, our GDP. if I were to ask the room, the top 3 GDP contributors of our economy in South Africa, number 1, it's services, banking and services. That's retail, people that are working in the retail industry, banking, all the banks you guys know. Secondly, we go into mining, and you guys know about mining. And lastly, we go into transportation and logistics. Our country really makes money from our roads. Our country also makes money from the ocean economy. So who is this Nomso? And how did I blend into nuclear scientists? I really want you guys to pay attention to this. It's really a journey by accident, but at the same time, I got there and I was ready to fulfill that role. So I grew up in the Eastern Cape. Ndikhulele eNgqalane, ekhaya lami liseNgqalane, that is just behind Ginsberg, eQonce. So those that are around that area, you would know where, the rural areas around, there's quite a lot of them. And ukhula kwam, I studied there. Both my parents were teachers. So they were teachers in geography, and they were not really in the STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. But as soon as they could pick up that I'm really good at maths and science, because I used to irritate them and count everything. If my mom just went out and took out some clothes, I start counting them before she could fold them. So that really thought, this child is irritating me because I need to fold these clothes. But I used to count everything, and they did not need to teach me how to count. I was very young. And then at that point, they decided, we will need to do something, but also we have teachers' salary. It might not be much. We can send her into a very prestigious school where this gift and talent of maths may really be harnessed. So I'm really grateful there are organizations like you guys, where you have really are gathering everyone, all these geniuses, and you are placing them in just one pool, and you're saying this is our army of geniuses. So then from then on, I continued with my chores as I was the last born at home, compete, with my siblings, we're doing chores. And from then on, I then enrolled. When I went to varsity, I must say, I wanted to do medicine so much. That was the influence, as well as the role models that were around me. I only saw doctors, and I then thought, that's the way to go. I want to do medicine. And most people in the family also were saying that, oh, we do not have a doctor in the family. We would want to have a doctor in the family, But at that time, when I was doing matric, I really did not pay attention that you must apply early in these medicinal schools and institutions. And it was so full to the point where I was so discouraged, to the point where I thought, let me just take a gap here and wait again. But one of my teachers said, you wait again, but there are other students that are coming out from matriculation. You'll be competing with them. How about you study something else? And when you study something else, then it's sort of like a waiting period for you. You'll get to your dream, studies that will lead to your dream career. I thought, okay, that's fine. And then I was reading up on something about computer science, and I thought, okay, I'm going to go for this one. And my sister at that time was studying at the University of Forte. She then said, the people studying computer science, they're not that much, and I don't think you'll find it full. I enrolled, but one thing that inspired me also when I started to learn about computer science, and I must say this was back in 2003 when I went to varsity for first year. So Google was not popular. You guys have the privilege of that. So, but when you have to go study on something, you go to the library and you ask me, I have books about computer science. then the librarian will come back to you and give you those books. You see how technology now has come about. Those books exist on Google nowadays. But anyway, I then went into varsity. I went into computer science. Was I not blown away about programming? So I did programming, I did software development. I registered at University of Fort Hare, #1 for computer science. I registered for physics, mathematics, stats. I added geography. Geology rather, because I thought it was just something completely new to me. And when I was in registration, someone said, "You're going to study about dinosaurs." Thought, this is interesting. Let me just edit. I know I will not need it when I need to pass every, but it's just for interest's sake. And that is absolutely has nothing to do with dinosaurs. That person was playing with me. But anyway, in that whole process, I then enrolled for my first year. I found programming such a delight. I was so delighted to come to understand that you can actually write something and tell the computer what to do. Basically, that's programming. And also, you can mix together physics, and I was learning C#, Java. We went really down. Some of these languages have given rise to the languages that are built today, such as Python and Ruby on Rails. And those languages are what's used in machine learning leading to artificial intelligence. So I was so excited. And one of our lecturers, they then used to take us around to say that, when you go to the bank, you open an account, when they start typing, what's your name, all of that, there's a language that is being used to take all your information, put it down, put it in a database, and actually store your information there, store everything that you are doing in the money you're taking out from the bank, the money you are keeping in. There's a programming done in the background, and that was C#. I then also did C++. In that instance, I could understand when I was doing third year, one of our assignments in third year, you will not believe, we were writing a program for the lottery. When people go and play lottery, how do you do those statistics? I did statistics, so we used to do that. And I must say, sometimes we look down on the universities that are around us, but at University of Fort Hare, some of the best CIOs in the country are produced by that department. And I then got into that trail also, where right now I make decision over the country regarding how computer science, AI, and all these other technologies must shape and also, be utilized in our country. So let's just fast tracking now to #1. I'm done with varsity, did my honors, and then I went to do my master's at University of Wits here in Johannesburg, where Sisonke is studying. So the exciting thing is that I was passing so well, but unfortunately, this is something you will experience in life, and also the adults around you will experience, is that life also consists of hiccups, things that you did not plan. By the time I was 23 and doing my master's at Wits, I was doing my second year. This is now fast tracking to 2008. I was doing my second year. I discovered that I had cancer. And in discovering that, I had to immediately stop because it was so late. I needed to really go through my treatments and that sort of thing. So I wanted to pause on that thought because I was then going through those treatments. But, while doing that, then my doctor said, you can always go to work. And then I found a job at a certain institution. This is so important and how it links to today. So I worked at the National Communicable Disease Institution in Johannesburg. I started working there around 2009 2010, some of you were not even born. You were not even, there was no thought of even conceiving you. But at that time, we had the World Cup in the country, but our country was hit with a certain disease called the H1N1, which was a bird flu disease. So we needed to sort of and collect it and put it aside so that visitors, when they come, they do not experience such a thing. It is devastating as COVID, but we were only 8 scientists in the country. At that time, I had gone through my training as a medical biologist scientist. I had then gone through my training as well as an analyst, a medical analyst. You know, when doctors take your blood and your urine, you at the doctors, they say, we're going to test your blood. So they would give it to us. We analyze it, we give it to the nurse gives it to the doctor. So I had trained those things. I knew what kind of disease, how to do them. If it's urine, how to analyze that. If it's blood, how to analyze that. There was about 9 of us in the country doing that. And I was the only Black person. About Indians also, and lots of white males. So fast tracking now, this is 2011. I get a call from a nuclear reactor manager to say, Nomso, we've picked up your CV. We want you to join us. You have the right qualifications. You did physics. You know about nuclear and come join us. So I did not even apply for this job. So I joined in 2011. 2011, that was late 2012, actually. That's when I started working now as a nuclear scientist. So before I got into that, I want to tell you 3 things. Number 1, as a nuclear scientist, I worked in the radioisotopes lab. So I would analyze, human fluids, the blood and the urine, and sometimes saliva or sweat or things like that. But in doing that, I was also being trained in Russia. So it was quite confidential. I can't really speak about that. So I did my training there. And also some of the things we did in the lab was to actually irradiate. What do I mean by irradiate? So irradiation, you put, for example, just to be very realistic, you put, for example, a guava, a mango, you then put it within a certain instrument, and then it goes through it like an X-ray. So it's removing all the bacteria, it's removing all, the micro bacteria that sits within a fruit, and you probably see it later in life that, you once consumed something that was not good. So, there are so many uses of what we used to do in that radioisotopes lab. So besides analyzing and producing, number 1, iodine 131. Iodine 131 is a radioisotopes. Iodine, also those that are doing science and chemistry, you understand it's in the periodic table. It's number 131. So in that, we used to analyze it, irradiate it, and we use that treatment to actually treat people that had thyroid cancer. You'll find that, some adults, they might not, nowadays it's so advanced, it's actually removed before it shows. But you would see, if you have an experience, people that had thyroid cancer, it means they lose part of the, I hope you can see where I'm pointing. The thyroid sits here where your voice box is, where also my body is generating this voice. So it sits here, the thyroid, and sometimes people get cancer here. And once they get cancer here, it means now the cancer is eating the living cells that are here, eventually eating the muscles that are here. And those muscles are unable to produce that voice, and then you have your voice. So people then, once it's late and very advanced, then this needs to be removed. They put an artificial voice box. Sometimes they need to press here to speak. That person has gone past, they can't be treated. But we were preparing radioisotopes, iodine, that are used for cancer treatment, especially for thyroid cancer. So fast track. And then I felt like, you know what, perhaps maybe God at that time was showing me that you need to step in and understand the things you have studied, the real life applications, and you also experience them. The real life applications are also up to you to actually utilize. So 2 things I want you to take note of. Number 1, what you study, especially in the STEM, it's something you're going to apply for daily living. And secondly, once you follow the path of sciences, technology, engineering, mathematics, and even the creativity, you are going to be in a space where you solve problems, not only for yourself, but for community as well as the world around us. So I'm still in the lab now, and I'm busy, with my work, producing policies, educating people about nuclear. I'm also trained, by the way, to understand how nuclear energy works. Those that have been to Cape Town for holidays or heard about Cape Town, there's a nuclear plant only in South Africa. The whole continent, the continent has 54 countries. We're the only country that has a nuclear plant. So nuclear plant also is that it produces energy just like coal. Nuclear plant is that it takes uranium, splits it, takes that energy from uranium and produces electricity from there, converts it into electricity. So, I mean, all those things I got trained on. I mean, I can operate a nuclear reactor. I know, whenever they said there's a certain bomb that North Korea has tested and it landed like this, it did like, I would know what kind of atoms are used there, how it was put together, and how also it's going to detonate, it's going to, just explode. I know from which distance it's going to cover when it explodes. So those are things that I'm trained on. And lastly, I sort of got bored, guys, in the lab. I got bored because I used to do the same thing. You're like, oh, this is boring. But I remembered I did computer science. So I went into opening my own business in broadband infrastructure, where now I'm building networks. I want to connect rural areas. Remember, I'm from rural areas. So you always need to start at home, solve problems in your own community when you are a scientist. So I then want to do that. So our technology really speaks on, fixed wireless. How do we use unlicensed spectrum? I'm using all these big words, but it doesn't matter. Then we can connect the type of connectivity we bring in your house, and the innovation we've done is actually to ensure that someone who's sitting in Sandton has the same speed as yours, but you're in the rural areas and you get the same, kind of services when you go into the internet, right? So that's about it. And then just to my other cap of being the chairperson of Africa for Nuclear. So I'm busy right now advocating, bringing awareness for African countries to actually have nuclear, as it is also been declared very safe. We do have technologies that can store the wastage. We do have technologies that can really keep humanity, safe from nuclear and also natural disasters that might trigger a lot of things. The Koeberg nuclear plant in Cape Town was activated in 1984. It has never had problems. So South Africa then keeps producing these nuclear scientists to maintain and sustain, right? So, going around African countries to really do that. So Egypt right now is building one of the biggest nuclear plants. They're not yet done. And also Kenya is coming through. Nigeria also have lifted their hands to say they will do the same. Ghana as well. So you find that North Africa, East, West, and as well as we have already done it. And by the way, South Africa, we produce energy that can really give power to all the 13 countries in South Africa, in the Southern Africa, I mean. So that's how we, as nuclear scientists, have designed that nuclear also must be able to actually produce this. And also, I do want to touch point at this, that we also are in need of nuclear scientists, because currently the rate of engineering, I'll tell you this, why I'm motivating, especially the grade 9 that still needs to take that flow and choosing their subjects to grade 12 and also for the grade 12s, is the fact that, so in the world, currently, you need to have one engineer helping or developing solutions for 40 people. That's the ratio. But currently in South Africa, we have one engineer to 2,600 people, meaning that we are so short to a point where we need to convert everyone here to engineering, scientists, your friends, your family members, everyone, because of the shortage we have. And the reason we need to do that is because our solution needs STEM, our solution needs STEAM, including creative arts there, people that write books, people that will be able to explain things like Lihle does. So we need all of us to put our minds together and say, yeah, sure, Elon Musk has gone to the Mars. We can build our own, our own technology that will lead us there. Yes, sure. China is really leading in the AI research. We can put together our own scientists to lead in that. And our AI research is about us as Black people, as Africans. Our AI is different from an AI that is built and trained by a white person. So this is what I wanted to say to everyone, that I am an advocate for you guys. That's the privilege for you guys to step in, think about this, step in, think of your ideas, and also step into STEAM. Also, I'm an advocate for you guys to also not to look beyond role models that you see maybe in music, entertainment, and also look around for scientists and say, oh my goodness, I want I want to know more about how this person navigated their career. And I also want to understand them so much, and they relate to me, they look like me, and amnyama bafana nam. So it means I have to be myself, and I have to ask them questions in order for me to get everything from them. So ladies, young leaders, I feel so honored to really share this story with you. And in my other cap, I do advise the presidency on advanced technologies, but at the same time, to me, it is how do we build things and that are also preparing a future for you guys, preparing a future to say, oh, there's an industry that Sisonke built. He built one of the best AI companies in South Africa, and he's an alumni. I can easily go in and learn and work there and bring my ideas to life also. So that's what I wanted to share. And I'm so happy to really have your audience and just to hang out with you on this Saturday late afternoon. And I'm privileged once again to be with you guys to influence this time in your life. Okay? Thank you so much. Over to you, Oletu.
Oh my goodness. There are so many things that I'm sure the FGLers are just really trying to grasp. So much to learn from there. I would have thought that a nuclear scientist is not just about energy and power creation, but also into innovation and medical research and treatments. That's something that I never, ever imagined. And to think that in hindsight, your initial instinct to want to study medicine and become a medical doctor would be fulfilled in other ways, where you are actually empowering and enable the advancements of medical sciences. So that's something that's really beautiful. I've got some questions here that are coming through on the chat. I don't know if you can see them, Commissioner Nomso. Hello, Ms. Kana. When you were diagnosed with cancer, did you think that you could get an opportunity to be the person that you are today?
Not at all, not at all. I was so young, Indinago. I was 23 years old. I was looking forward to Beyonce's next album at that point, but I kept getting sick. But I did not. I really did not. And it's by God's grace that I really could survive that. You're probably way too young for me to take you through that detail, but I really did not really think that. In fact, the doctor told me that, people with this usually have 3 years. So now, right now, I'm 40 years old. It means really I have come a long way to really get what God prepared for my life. Yeah.
Oh, wow. And then Ulino Yondo, Commissioner, wants to know, what is the biggest challenge nuclear scientists face in South Africa right now?
So the biggest challenge we face right now is the fact that we have not built any plants in the past, 40 years, 45 years. And since we have not built that, we have not really put together a concrete pool, futuristic pool of nuclear scientists. One thing that I've seen also is that the whole of Africa depends on the existing nuclear scientists. So whenever now Ghana says, we are going to build our own, they call South Africa, come and help us develop strategies. Whenever, Egypt, I've been to that place where they have a plant, they would call. I've been offered jobs in Iran. I've been offered jobs in the US, Canada, because it's not only a South African shortage, it's also a global shortage. And that being a global shortage, it also means there is now an awareness that needs to be done.
All right. FGL is, I know you're taking all of this in. I think this is one that's very important from Muasange, who's trying to figure out what are the subjects that are required for you to qualify for an undergrad degree that would then lead to a postgrad degree that would then lead to you qualifying as a nuclear science or a scientist. What are the steps to that qualification?
All right. So I could see the question just popped in. I could see them. So yes. So I did mention. So in high school, I studied maths and science. I think like you guys, I had biology, the languages. I also had accounting for some reason. So when I passed, then I passed very well to get into university with distinctions. And then from then on, when I got to varsity, I studied physics, mathematics, chemistry, and computer science. So those are some of the very critical prerequisite subjects. And I think to study nuclear is a subject within physics, just like quantum mechanics is a subject within physics. So you need to study the full scope of physics. And that full scope of physics is actually going to then give you all the aspects that you need within nuclear. So Asange, when you then are thinking, you know what, do I need to major in nuclear science? Not really, no. You need to know theoretical physics. You need to know applied physics. Then you find all these applications within that. And I love your question, Angwele, that says, what should someone do to fight cancer? So cancer, number one, it fights your body cells, your living cells. You need to have a very strong mindset that you will survive this. But we do have treatments in the country that someone can take through. But usually people at a certain age, they need to then go test and see if there's any cancerous cells growing within them. And I think now what you also are bringing up, because sometimes people, they don't make it, that's when it's discovered very late. And when it's late, it means it has spread throughout the body. And at that point, it becomes quite late for a person to actually make it. And Dinako, I love your question also. What would you tell a young kid who has no idea what to do in the future? Oh, there's so many of them in Dinako, and sometimes people are inspired with what's trending right now. People are inspired with what's going on right now and they think this will sustain for the future. But, you know, once you have your priorities right to say that I might not come from a great background, but I just want to study at least one thing I want to do, study and pass so much. There's so many opportunities I will get where I can get a bursary. Getting a bursary, it means also I will just be able to go study and improve my life. And when my life is improved, the other people's lives are improved. And as well as, what is it that I need to put together? And what is it that I need to actually get in so that I can say the future, I can get this and this in the future. It means you need to also pile in on your skills. If you do science, you do technology, also you understand technology. So I hope that answers your question. Luyolo says, how many years did you take to be where I am? geez, all my life. I'm 41 right now, turning 41 in September, all my life. But, you know, it's really, with the masters, it's 8 years in varsity, but you're working, you're living, you're studying, it balances very well. And Lino Yolo, that's a great question also. So the waste, there's a place called Valputs where we store nuclear waste. So maybe I could use my phone. It is stored into a small brick like this, and then it's buried underground and also just covered with lead. So lead keeps it contained. All the beta and the alphas can't go out. It keeps it contained, and then it's buried underground. We have nuclear waste that has been there since 1986. Yeah. Sounds so good. So yeah, I think that answers everyone's question. I'm happy, Lichem. Now I'm vying for a season 2 of this talk. I'm happy to come in again. I just need to just respond to this question. Someone is at my gate. 2 seconds.
All right, no problem. Also, Nomso does also have a hard stop. I know that she needs to rush to the airport in just a bit. But if there's any other questions, FGLers, we are more than happy for you guys to send them through. I think we'll have her for about 5 more minutes before she needs to rush off. So if there's anything else that you want to know from her, please type it onto the WhatsApp, not the WhatsApp, into the chat. We've answered the nuclear waste question and the years of where she is today. I'm hoping that you've taken how broad it is that the nuclear science space is, and that a career in STEM will allow you to really shape the future of this country and even impact your community. She started an ICT company that now provides broadband and infrastructure to communities that and otherwise wouldn't be able to. Angelina says, hi everyone. Ma'am, what has been your drive that keeps you going and inspires you in spite of the obstacles you faced until you became the amazing person that you are and achieved your dreams? And what would you like to say to matric a learner of 2026 who's about to embark on this journey of fulfilling dreams? Oh, that's a great question. This is Nomso. I don't know if you're able to be back there. She had to attend to a question quickly. Somebody at the gate. So let's see if she's able to answer those last 2 questions. Did you ever imagine that a nuclear scientist can work in a lab, in a university, power company? Healthcare facility for me is the one that is the most surprising, and really shaping safety and compliance. To think that South Africa is the only country in Africa that has a nuclear power station is really something that I didn't know. So you could be at the forefront of that innovation and technology if you choose a career in STEM, of course, with the masters to focus on the specific field of study that you want. As Nomso, you can let me know if you're back on, just so we can cover the last couple of questions. If she has, you could just hang 10 for her. We do have Usasonke Ngalo, who's standing by, of course. He's going to be chatting to us on his journey to achieving 6 incredible distinctions as the matric class of 2025. He's going to share his journey on how he went from just being an ordinary student to one that is a top HDI learner out in East London. Looking forward to his session. And just like you were taking notes for Commissioner Nomso's talk, I hope that you're going to be taking notes for Sisonke and his insights, because he's speaking from a point of where he was last year and a more immediate point of where he is right now. And Sis Nomso has painted a picture rather, of what all this hard work and dedication can look like after you've graduated and have decided to embark on a career in STEM. She's also highlighted the fact that art is the creative aspect of it is also important. So STEM and STEAM is an interesting take that we haven't heard from before. Commissioner Kana, are you back?
No, I think she is. Oh.
Sorry.
Yes,
Yeah,
she's here.
back.
All right. I
Yeah.
think there's about 3 or 4 more questions in the chat, and then we'll gladly
Okay.
let you go. I do know you have to rush to the airport. If you could
Oh,
please just answer those last 3 questions there in the chat.
yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So yeah, I needed just to close that out. But anyway, I'm back here. So my last one was with y'all, to understand the waste. So yes, in that demonstration, it becomes such a small break like this, and then it's stored there. So Angeline, oh man, you write so well. What's my drive and what keeps me in spite of obstacles? Yeah, right. So many obstacles do not, obstacles do not say, oh no, you're a nuclear scientist, you will not come. Or obstacles do not, all other things don't say, oh, you are so young, you can't go through this. Things happen and bad things happen to people. But what must motivate life is the fact that you must have that inner motivation that you want to be someone and you want to do something that's impactful, not just for yourself, but for people that that they are so proud of you genuinely, people that that love you genuinely. And you leave that to say, no matter what I'm facing, I'm going to go through this and I'm going to really go over it and overcome it. So I really think that that's what motivating. Family support also would actually keep you grounded. Good friends around you, good, mentors, this whole network here, it's people that will really keep you motivated and also give you that energy to overcome things. So I hope, Angeline, that really answers you. But obstacles can take years and years for you to overcome, but you have to pace yourself also. If the problem can't be solved within a year, it's going to be solved the next year. So you sort of pace yourself also, and not beat yourself up that why did this have to happen to me, or beat yourself up to say it's happening to me because I'm not like this and this, and start making those comparisons that put you down. So really, I wouldn't want you to think like that when you are facing obstacles and really, you're going through go or means in this life. Yeah. And Taru, sorry if I'm not Kazimla, I see your question. Oh, it's definitely not wrong. It's definitely not wrong. And some of the studies I have seen. So Kazima is asking, working abroad, is it something wrong? Not at all. It's not wrong. South Africa, in the global index, we've been listed that we speak English clearly. So whenever you go out and they say, they could pick up that you're clear to communicate. So that's one of our things that we should give kudos to our teachers that taught us English, is that our English is really crisp and it's understood whether you're in Europe or in the Americas. So it gives you that advantage also. So there's nothing wrong. I mean, Kazimla did work for a company in France. For a year. So sometimes when you've really stacked up your skills, you become in demand again, and you can work anywhere in the world, and you can do some of the best jobs and get paid some of the best salaries as a person. So there's absolutely nothing wrong. And also, to your question, how do you deal with stress, failure, and workload in university? Oh my gosh, are you going to pull your hair on that one? Because it's something new for yourself, something new for your body, something new for your routine. And you were usually just a matriculant, you at home, you had the support from your parents, your siblings. Now you are on your own. It's a test of independence. So dealing with stress, dealing with failure and the workload is one thing I want you to learn is time management. I used to do 8 subjects when I was in matriculation. So each day I would say 30 minutes for each. And I'm touching some of the critical points, 30 minutes each, 30 minutes each. And if you look at that, I've spent, time in a day in going through all my subjects. And that really taught me and trained me to have a very good time management. Sometimes you forget, sometimes you go over your hobbies, you want to relax, you want to go hang out with friends, you forget, but it also means you still need to ensure that you pack that in. If you had said, I need to read this book and finish it in a day, or read it and finish it in 30 minutes, you still need to stick to your schedule and your timetable. And stress is there, failure is there. So one of the things I discovered when I had cancer, I was only 22. I was going to write exams. Suddenly I was failing because my body was sometimes in pain and I'll forget to study. But I thought, I need to go right. I need to finish this, until I had to drop out because at that point I really needed to go through my treatment. So failure does come, whether you are brilliant, you're the most genius of all. Even Einstein had failure in his career. And even the best scientist, Marie Curie, had failure in her career before she could discover some of these radioisotopes, is that she had done the work about 13 times. And at that time, you're a woman, it's back in the days, no one believed you when you say you've discovered something. So in that, failure is there, but how do you overcome? You must understand failure is there and welcome it. Number one, don't say you'll never fail. You're going to grow a character that is not tested. You must understand failure is there, but the main thing is to overcome it. When you overcome it, it gives you lessons. So failure comes with lessons. You will say, I failed this, but this was the lesson. And these are the steps for me, not for this to be repeated. Okay. I hope that answers you. So university has the workload. You need to have your gang that you would know for a fact that you're going to run together, and try to balance that. And also leave, play sports, travel around. If there are group tours, do that, and also experience the world, so that you're not only living throughout that. I'm taking so much time. How to ignore negative comments from peers. Sima, those are wrong peers around you. You always find your tribe. So finding your tribe takes time, but when you find that one or two friends, stick by them. But also negative comments will never stop. But always have, people around you that speak positively, and they speak positive about, they genuinely love you. Those people will not even have the slightest aura around that says we're rejecting you. So stick around those people. And when you have more of the positive side, yes, the negative is there, but it's always overcome by the positive. So yeah, keep the positive one very close. If you had to convince my class why nuclear isn't scary, I blame, I blame Hollywood. Hollywood
Yes.
movies that actually scared people about nuclear. It's actually not scary. It's useful to clean out germs, hard germs that can really be detected, for fruits, food, and also medicinal. And I mean, we treat cancer with nuclear. And yeah, I think I'm taking time now. I'm happy to Uluvugo to get all these questions and maybe respond to them, and then they can be shared if there's a group somewhere, because they are coming through. And I suppose it's the interest that's coming through all the way to end, and to
Yes.
know more. And yeah, it's quite exciting. I'm happy also to answer, but we have such a short time. And Sisonke, I'm sorry for taking from your time.
I'm sure Sisonke is absolutely enthralled looking at the future. I mean, you also gave a big, big affirmation saying that one day Sisonke will build the best AI company in the country. And because these are FGL alumni, they'll be able to say, look, I know someone who's done something great. Maybe they can give me a chance at their big company. So that's a beautiful affirmation. Sisonke is smiling for sure. Oh, Commissioner Kana, thank you so much for your time. Tons and tons of appreciation from all of us. I know you do have to rush. We truly appreciate it. We will send you lots of love letters throughout the course of the year. And please be guaranteed that when you are next available, we would love you to join us once again.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. I'll be so happy, man. Thank you for having me. I love everyone and really rooting for you guys. You are our future leaders. Hey, we're going to leave everything with you guys to say, carry on, please. Yeah.
No pressure at all. No pressure at all. Thank you so much.
Okay.
A digital big round of applause to our guest speaker, Commissioner Kana. We thank you for the great work you continue to do, and it's been a privilege.